How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Scarlet, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at some Pokemon news, leaks, rumors, everything in between. So let's get started right off the bat. Well, the first thing we're going to be looking at is this right here. We got ourselves some information about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, specifically the fact that the games are getting an official update, which is, I think, currently out. I'm not sure if it's out exactly. But basically, attention trainers, we'd like to share some information on patch 1.2.0 for Scarlet and Violet. You can read about it right here. And Centra actually has like the list of the changelogs. And some of the changelogs are relatively decent, you know, like they've added some functionality to the Pokemon boxes. You know, just generally a lot of fixes and stuff like that. Change a few things. The Terra raid battles, they've fixed like, I think, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 6 bugs or something, plus possibly more stuff. But the big issue, the one that you can see Centra even complaining about here is that to address the issue that can cause the game to forcibly close at certain locations, so basically the game crashing, I like how they basically frame it in a different way, calling it forcibly closed game. No, it's literally crashing. As a result of this fix, there may be a reduction of Pokemon and people displayed in certain towns or in the wild. So basically, their solution was just to remove the Pokemon you see in the world and make less of them to fix the issue. Which, I mean, it's basically like, you know, if your boat is leaking, you know, and your solution is to put some flex tape on there for a temporary amount of time. It's not really a long-term solution that I think is good. Just removing Pokemon in the wild, which kind of defeats the purpose of having them, you know, in the open world, visible all over the place. That's kind of the cool thing about Scarlet and Violet in the open world and all that, is that you can see all these Pokemon in the wild. That's kind of the sick, the epic aspect of it. Removing a bunch of them and, you know, having less of them spawn does kind of take away from that. But again, I digress. If this helps with the connection and it makes it easier for people to actually play the game, then honestly, it is, I guess, worth it. It's not like a 100% negative thing. I mean, the fact is they're still releasing patches, which is a good thing. That means they're trying to fix, you know, parts of the game that clearly need fixing, you know, like they're trying to fix the stuff that clearly needs to be fixed. So that's at least a decent thing. But yeah, there's a bunch of updates in here. We can go through them really quickly. They've added functionality for Pokemon boxes. From a Pokemon summary page, players will be able to change Pokemon's nicknames, markings, held items, and mark or ribbon related titles, as well as being able to reorder moves, have Pokemon remember moves, have Pokemon forget moves, and use TMs. Players will be able to swap out held items by pressing Y button when in the held item view. So basically, they've added a bunch of functionality to make it easier to do a bunch of this kind of stuff, which actually, you know what? I'm totally cool for that. What I would appreciate is if they added, you know, buttons for like, you know, buttons for like set mode and that kind of stuff, because that still isn't in the game, which is really weird. You know, stuff like that, and maybe, you know, the button to skip animations, just saying. I mean, I know the animations are relatively really quick in this game, which is fine, but it still is like, I have replayed this game now a grand total of like 7 times. I've replayed Scarlet and Violet, and it would be really nice if I could just skip the animation sometimes, just because I'm replaying it for the purpose of a challenge, and it's not really fun to have to go through that a million times. I've seen how Flamethrower looks like. Don't need to see it again. Either way, they've also done some changes to the battles, and overall, there's just a lot of changes. You guys can, again, pause the video here if you want to look at any of these specifically, or you can go to, of course, you know, Central Leaks who posted all this. But yeah, that's pretty much summarizes that. Now let's move on to this post right here. Now, I don't have the full post of this, because whoever sent this to me didn't send the whole thing, but it's besides the point. Basically, we have a 4chan rumor, which is pretty standard by now. You guys know how these work, so I thought we'd take a look at it and see what it has to say. So it starts off saying, Pokemon Presents is just 25 minutes long. Ishihara begins by thanking us for supporting Pokemon, and he has loads of Pokemon things to share with us. He shows off some boring mobile games, doesn't really say much about that, which is kind of unfortunate. Pokemon Unite introduces Pokemon... I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, like Zarude maybe? Pokemon Cafe Remix gives you an increased chance of finding Shiny Togepi, and Pokemon Go will talk about Mega Latios raid and Rayquaza raids. Masters EX will host an anniversary event and give a gem login bonus, and then Spike Chunsoft has revealed the Pokemon Mystery Dungeons Explorers of Sky remake, which is interesting, because there is actually confirmed information that Spike Chunsoft is most likely going to be present, and they are, if you don't know, they are the company that makes Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, right? They make all the Mystery Dungeon games, so it is confirmed that they will be showing up, okay? They will be present during Pokemon Day based on some, you know, looking into the I guess, whether it be the code or the inspect element of the website that is for Pokemon Day, the upcoming Pokemon Day. People were able to figure that out. We already talked about this in the previous video. But either way, next thing though. So you will get the entirety of Generation 1 to 3 with Nintendo Switch Online, and has been, I guess, adjusted to the, to the Switch, which is interesting. So we've already talked about this, the possibility that now that they have the Game Boy emulator games and Game Boy Advanced emulator games, now the fact that those are actually officially on the Switch, they officially are part of the Switch Online. The idea of them actually re-releasing the original Pokemon games, which would sell really good. People would buy that. People would pay good money for that. Even though it's just re-releasing ROMs that you can find online, it still is like something that people would be gladly willing to pay some good Skrilla for. So it's definitely worth doing, and it's highly possible, by the way, that might actually happen on Pokemon Day. Like, I personally think it is possible. That's something that we will see on Pokemon Day. Either way, we continue to the next thing. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet updates. Raid events to compete against Mew with the Mightiest Mark. A patch comes out, fixing bugs and some performance issues. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC will come in 2 waves. The first is called the Heights of Adventure, and not much is revealed except for a new, I guess, Pokemon and Nemona's parents and the own the school, apparently, and a new legendary Pokemon that's based on something which I can't see what it says here. The second is known as the Crystal Labyrinth, and we go even deeper into Area 0, and also, I guess, there's some other stuff in there which, again, we can't see. And then an egg starts to crack open, blinding the entire screen, and that's the end. So I guess the egg could be the 3rd legendary, if, again, this whole rumor is real, because I'm just talking about this as if it is real. But no, this is just a random rumor. This could be 100 million% fake, so just keep that in mind. None of this shit is confirmed. It's just all, like, rumors and stuff. And I'm sorry for not having the full post. Unfortunately, this doesn't include the 4chan, I guess the 4chan code, which is, like, basically these numbers for which post this is. Normally, if it included that, I'd be able to find this post right away and see the whole thing. But unfortunately, it isn't included in this screenshot, so I can't really do that. So we just have to roll with what we have right here. But either way, let's move on to the next thing, which is this post right here. This is also posted on 4chan. Now, my face is blocking this a little bit, but we're going to zoom it out just like that. Now, this is definitely just a, whatchamacallit. This is 100% a mock-up. This is not real, FYI, if you're wondering. This isn't a real post. First of all, the font up there is literally the Pokemon Legends Arceus font and stuff. And this is just a mock-up. And yeah, basically, what is this saying, though? Well, this is kind of a mock-up ID, a concept, if you will, for what the kind of collection of Pokemon games could look like. Like, the idea of what this could be like is basically what we're looking at right here. This is pretty much what it's what it's showing us, right? Is, oh, what would it look like if we got a Pokemon collection, like a collection of the Pokemon games? Would that be doable? Will we see it like this? Well, that's basically what you're looking at right here. I think it's a cool concept. Don't know if they would sell it in a physical copy, though. I wonder. I mean, I wish they did. I wish they did. I really hope they did. They do. We will have to wait and see. But nonetheless, though, this is a pretty cool ID. I would love this. I would love to have a re-release of the original games from Generation 1 to Generation 3. That would be great. A great way to just kind of reintroduce people that people that don't have a Game Boy, people that don't know how to use emulators. Just that generation of people would be nice to see what they think about those old games and get them into like the old school Pokemon, just to show them like, hey, yeah, this is what Pokemon used to be like. I think that's where this kind of appeals the most, right? This is the kind of place where I think these games will be like necessary in a sense, right? Because a lot of kids will be playing Pokemon right now. They don't really know all the Pokemon. They don't know all the games. They haven't played Ruby, Sapphire, Red, Blue, Green, Yellow, etc. They haven't played those. So it'd be nice to maybe give them an introduction to that through this collection, because it's on the Switch then, it's with a console that they are used to, and it's a newer console. So personally, I'm all for this ID. We'll have to wait and see if it's going to happen, though. But nonetheless, let's move on to the next thing, which is this post right here from somebody on 4chan. It says, the answer to Ku's latest riddle, cheers. And then he's talking about the Time Gear, which is an important object, artifact, whatever you want to call it, in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. And we know for a fact that Mystery Dungeon is getting a new game. And this person just thinks that this whole, like, hexagon, that Riddler Ku, if you don't know who Riddler Ku is, he's a legitimate leaker, and he's been kind of hinting stuff. Well, he riddled stuff, right? That's why his name is Riddler Ku. But basically, he has kind of given us this hexagon, and this guy thinks it might be the Time Gear, which, again, I'm a little bit on that one. We'll have to wait and see if that is actually the case. But again, we'll have to wait and see. So for now, it is what it is. We move on to the next thing, though. So, Umino Tami posted this about, I guess, one of the new characters from the new Pokemon anime, Roy. saying that he basically, Roy wears sandals. Does he attend the same school as Rico? The school she goes to seems reasonably decent. The way Annie Pokey provides information is very suspicious. I wonder if Rico and Roy will start completely different adventures and they will not meet until the last episode, which is highly possible. You never know with that kind of stuff. By the way, interestingly, talking about Roy, this character, there's a brand new Pokeball that's been revealed. I have not really seen this one before. It's a brand new Pokeball that he might be using. And it looks a bit old school, right? It looks a bit like, you know, old-ish. Also, it has blue and red in it, which is an interesting color scheme because it's the original color scheme of Pokemon. But yeah, it's a strange Pokeball that I'm really wondering what this exactly is going to be. Because again, this was posted on 4chan, people just saying what's in the ball. It could be anything. Somebody saying a new Charizard form, which, hey, you know, Pokemon just love their Charizard, man. They just love shitting out anything Charizard related. So I want to know what you guys think about this Pokeball. What do you think it is? What is in it? What's all that kind of stuff all about it? Let me know. Either way, let's move on to one of the final things. We have only really like 2 more posts to go through. So here's the next one, which is from also Delta Uminotami, who says, Space is Spirit 2. In other words, Palkia and Uma were in the same group, while Dialga was alone for a long time. And this is basically talking about, like, you know, just the legendaries and, like, you know, how, you know, the Gen 4 legendaries connect well to the Gen 3 legendaries in terms of the fact that, literally in terms of these legendaries, these guys literally are related to space, and these fellas are related to time in some way or shape. And then, of course, there is Giratina, which, you know, is just a whole nother bag of mystery. So, yeah, again, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it in terms of the information. If you guys want to go further into what Delta Uminotami actually has to say here, I would definitely recommend checking it out, because the thing with Pokemon is they use some weird, really abstract IDs sometimes when making these Pokemon games, and they use abstract IDs to create new Pokemon. It is really strange, but they love doing it, and also that's what makes this whole thing a bit more fun to deal with and explore and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I want to just thank you all for, of course, watching. Thank you all for being here. I will be seeing you guys all in the next video as per usual. So yeah, thank you all for being here, guys. Thank you all for coming through. I appreciate you, lads. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.